Hello and welcome to another episode of Game and Scotch. My name's Aiden. I'm joined by Dan the Elder.
Good day.
We got Adrian and we got Aiden.
Another Aiden.
We got two Aidens on the show, but you spell your name wrong.
I spell it
The Y.
differently.
Why do you spell it Y?
You'd have to ask my parents.
All right.
But
We'll have to get them on.
I think it had to do with. So do you spell it A-I-D?
E-N. Yeah. A-I-D-E-N. Yeah.
So I think they said it had something to do with like I was born 86. That was like around when the AIDS epidemic was big.
Oh.
They didn't like the A-I-D.
Oh.
So they put A-Y-D.
That makes sense.
That's a good
That
reason.
makes sense. And honestly, it probably looks better than just AI. I like the letter Y too. It looks
Sure.
cool.
See,
Yeah.
I'm just learning that that's how you spelled yours, and I see it on Facebook all the time and stuff, but I just don't pay attention.
You just know the shape of it.
Yeah, I just see the shape. It's a
Yeah.
blur, but I thought it was A-I-D-A-N, and that was always a thorn in my side because I'm Dan. And I'm like, how dare you co-opt my name
There's
and
so
add
many
more.
Aidens nowadays.
Yeah.
And so many Dans.
There you go.
It's like they're growing. It's
Or
crazy.
pioneers.
Pioneers.
For
Exactly.
the Aiden name.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, so far I like yours more, so that's good. It sounds better.
Hey.
Yeah.
So if this is the first time you've tuned on to Game and Scotch, we are a show that combines gaming and drinking. And today we're drinking the black IPAs, the Grumpy Goat, but it's his cousin?
It's his cousin.
Yeah, 'cause there's
it's
two
his
versions
like
of
alter
it.
ego. He's like a Jekyll and Hyde
Gotcha.
sort of thing.
So this is the Hyde.
This is
dark
Jekyll.
tremendous. This
Yeah.
is the one that
Yeah.
I thought that we were gonna have on the other episode, and this is so good.
Yeah,
So it's the
really
same
delicious.
recipe as our other Grumpy Goat IPA.
Yeah.
We just use some dark malt. So you get that color, and then you get more of that like roasted malt, almost like coffee chocolate
Yeah, I'm definitely
flavor
getting that.
notes that come through.
Yeah.
Yeah. It blends really nicely with the like citrus hop aroma and the bitterness.
Nice.
Yeah. It's just a great beer.
So that's what makes a black IPA black. Is the roasting, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a dark malt. I don't know if I do have one on my
Oh, right on.
very
mantle
cool.
there.
There you go.
That's a dark
Hey.
malt.
Nice.
So it was the same as that one that I was showing you guys before. They just like roast it.
Kind of like chocolate.
Yeah. Essentially, they burn it. They don't actually burn it, but they bring it like really, really hot, right on the verge of burning it.
That's really cool.
Very cool.
So,
It makes a black IPA very delicious.
Yes.
Yeah,
So I didn't properly introduce you guys. I just realized. So who are you? Why are you on Game and
okay.
Scotch? And where are we? We're at Shakespeare Brewing Company today.
yeah.
Yes, we are at Shakespeare Brewing
we are.
Company in Shakespeare, Ontario. It is a place.
It is a place.
So we're like 10 minutes east of Stratford. So if you're heading into Stratford from GTA, KW, Hamilton, you drive through Shakespeare on the way to Stratford. So that's where we are. My name's Aiden. I'm the owner, founder, brewer here at Shakespeare Brewing Company. And then we've got Adrian with us as well. So we brought Adrian on a few months ago.
You're super new.
We're sort of
I'm
yeah.
Super new.
Fresh.
Yeah.
Fresh.
So yeah,
Nice.
we've
Fresh like
been
the beer.
we've been experiencing some growth, so we needed to bring on another team member. And I've known Adrian for a couple years now, sort of like on an acquaintance
Right.
sort of thing. We actually met at the dog park. Our dogs were friends first.
Very
Oh,
cool.
very good friend.
We became friends through our
It
dogs.
was almost forced.
Yeah.
It was fun. Yeah, I don't know if we like each other even. It's our dogs that set this up.
Yeah, exactly.
What kind of dogs do you guys have?
So
Go first, yeah.
I have a German Shepherd, and he's mixed with a Bull Mastiff.
Oh, wow.
So
Wow.
they're both both
That's a
four.
big dog.
Yeah, he's about 130 pounds.
Oh my god.
Wow.
He's 130
He's
pounds.
130
You could beat me
pounds.
up.
Yeah, he's a big boy, man. Yeah.
I gotta weigh my dog then. He can't be as much as I do.
Yeah.
bigger than Dan the
No,
Younger.
How much do you
He's
think?
bigger than Dan the
Cajun
Younger. Yeah.
weighs?
Oh, Cajun's probably a good 60 or 70 pounds.
Okay, that's what I thought. But yeah, he
probably.
doesn't.
No, Sheldon's a beast. He's an honest.
Oh, his
he's a
name's Sheldon?
beast. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
That's
Sheldon.
awesome.
So from The Big Bang Theory. Too,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So yeah, it's he's an interesting pup, but yeah, that's like how we initially met, and like I remember it still to this day because Aiden had these dreams of being a brewmaster, and like he worked at Bell City at that point, and that's how kind of we got connected. Was I actually really enjoyed the Eureka beer from Bell City, and
Shout out.
yeah.
Shout out.
Shout out. Yeah, sorry. Oh, there you go. but no. And
nice
and then
beer.
I learned that he was the one who was brewing it. So I was like, oh my god.
Yeah.
So that's kind of how we got connected, and I kind of had my dreams of becoming I don't know how much of a dream it is, a corporate manager. So I went that way for quite some time, And then I'd always kind of drop in here periodically to kind of buy some beer and chat with my old friends, and it turned into this. So yeah, I personally I saw where this was going, and I saw how awesome our beer was, and it was just like we need to maximize this.
Yeah,
nice.
And you're around
get it all out, get it to as many people as we can.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. So I guess it was my buddy Pat that stopped by here, and he's like, "Hey, these guys want you to try a few of their beers." And we're like, "Okay," and they ended up being delicious, and we're like, "Oh, I gotta reach out to them and be like, we gotta do more content, and maybe we can come visit you guys." And that's what we're doing today.
Yeah.
It's been a great experience. Like your facility is really cool, and I love the Shakespearean aesthetic to all the artwork and the names of the beers.
So I don't know if you figured out the sort of the theme that we did yet. It's not very complicated to figure out, but we're called Shakespeare Brewing Company. So when we were sort of starting out, we were trying to figure out where do we want to go with it. Do we want to go heavy on the Shakespeare, and we could do like a Hamlet beer, a Macbeth beer, Romeo and Juliet beer.
Right.
But when you've been to the town of Shakespeare, there's actually nothing in Shakespeare to do with the playwright.
Nothing Shakespearean.
Nothing Shakespearean. Yeah,
other than
exactly.
antiques.
Right.
It's old. And
Yeah,
antiques.
I don't know if they have any
Right,
antiques
right.
that old. They might.
They
might. But so the area, it's a lot of farming in this area. So we thought, how can we merge farming and Shakespeare? So we thought, why don't we do farm animals and dress them in Shakespearean clothing?
Oh, I love it. It's
So
great.
that's where the ideas came from.
I like it.
Dan and
Everything's improved with a cravat. That's
Yeah, that's right. Here, I don't know if you can get a shot of the reckless rooster
Reckless
there.
Rooster.
He's got one of
I
those
actually
neck
had a
things.
really good recommendation. So usually on Sundays I'll bring my dog in here, and the one girl was telling me that I should actually get one of those. So whenever he's
For
in here, he
Sheldon
can
to wear?
sport one. Yeah.
That'd be great.
I think it would be a good idea.
You can do that if you like.
Thanks.
I don't know if you'll want to do it this time of year. It's gonna be pretty hot in July, but
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
So what puppy do you have? What dog?
my dog's name is Cajun.
Cajun.
Like the spice.
Nice.
And he's we don't know for sure. We think he's a blue heeler mixed with a border collie.
Okay, rescue dog.
Yeah, so we got him from a lady who had. We actually got him. He was in Kingston, so I drove all the way to Kingston to look at a dog.
Nice.
So yeah,
That's a far drive.
Yeah, my wife said we're not
It was
looking.
love.
We're not looking
It was
at a
love.
dog. You don't
Yeah.
drive that far and just look at a
Yeah,
dog.
you get one.
Yeah, exactly. You
never
get
heard
one.
of a blue heeler before. It sounds
Yeah,
like
so
an
it's also
RPG
called
class.
yeah, it does. It's also called the Australian cattle dog.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So they were bred in Australia for
Alright.
moving cows.
Nice.
Fair enough.
I have a border collie. We just got him about a year ago.
Okay.
His name's Daxter, named after
Nice.
Jack and Daxter. Do you
Cool.
guys know Jack and Daxter?
Yeah.
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 Big fan of that.
So he's a high energy sort of dog.
He's nuts, and we didn't really realize what we were getting into because we live in an apartment as well, and he just bolts. So we have to walk him 20 times a day. And
Does the whole
Fetch.
the spin
Yeah,
from
fetch.
the kitchen into the couch.
Yep.
The
Yeah.
kitchen into
Yeah.
the couch.
Zoomies.
yeah, and we're
It's
getting
crazy
new
as a bag of
furniture. We're like,
snakes.
Yeah.
he's not allowed on the furniture. He's just gonna destroy it all.
Yeah.
So,
Will he bring the ball back? Yet?
he does and doesn't. Like he'll bring it to you, and then just look at you. And when I try to get it, he run away.
Spice.
Right.
So I think he wants
Treat
to.
him.
Yeah,
Because
exactly.
that's like a really good outlet for a high energy dog.
Yeah.
Because you can
Treats?
just just
Oh,
being able to
fetch
play
jobs?
fetch.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
you can do it for 10-15 minutes, and it's
Yeah.
super intense exercise, and then they're just like, "Ugh."
Yeah. If he gives it back, we'll play catch.
right?
If he plays theft,
yeah.
keep away,
Yeah.
stuff like that.
Yeah.
So, and Adrian, I noticed on your emails you're called the Beer Preacher. Does everyone have nicknames around
Yeah,
here?
so I guess I didn't really go over my
Yeah.
title here. So,
Yeah.
so I'm the beer preacher is what I like to call myself. So it's kind of self-titled. The reason why is just because I personally my entire scope of life, what I want to do is entertain people, and just get out there and make as many people happy as I can. So.
Right.
Preaching beer is kind of where I stand in this company. So I'm never off shift. I'm always preaching our company, just because, in my opinion, we've got really good product, and I'm not gonna say it's the best. We're great. We're just like anyone else.
It's the best.
It's the best. Any other company.
We would just like to point out that it is, in fact, the
everybody to
best.
experience our beer, and that's kind of where I'm at.
Yeah.
So for a self-title, that's what I do. I'm a beer preacher, man.
That's very cool.
I like
Are you
it.
brew master, or what would you?
I suppose I'm the
Brewmaster.
brewmaster. Yeah,
You're
for the
Shakespeare
longest
Mash.
time, I've been
You're the playwright.
Like prior to Adrian, I've been the brewmaster, the retail guy,
Nice.
the floor sweeping guy, the like
Jack of all
everything.
trades.
Yeah, I've been doing
Yeah.
the whole. So it's been me and my wife Katie, and then we've also been blessed with 2 children. So we just had our second last May. He was born May 25th.
Congratulations.
Like thank you. So just leading into our busy season because we're very busy here in the summer.
Yeah.
So obviously with my wife having a newborn at home, she wasn't able to help out very much at the brewery. So I've been a one-man show for about a year and a half, and
Wow. Yeah.
Adrian has been a very welcome member to the team.
Yeah.
So
Very cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's how it started out is like I was
Luigi.
Mario and Luigi.
there you go. So how it started off is it was actually pretty interesting. So like just because I've known Katie and Aiden for quite some time now, I would come in and I'd see like how much effort and how much passion they put into this place. And it all started off with Sundays. So I was just like, you guys need a day off. Like, let me help you guys out. Like, hire me for a Sunday. I had already had a full-time job. I was very established in my career. And I just wanted to not only help them out, but help myself out too, because it's something that I love doing, craft beer in general. So I just started on Sundays, and then like immediately it just clicked with me. I was like, this is something that I need to be doing, and these are the people who I want to be doing it with. So
It's great that you're able to kind of do something you're more passionate about. 'Cause sometimes people get stuck in these jobs that they don't want to do, and it's really great to see you guys kind of have this creative outlet. And
you have
business around
you have
it.
to take a leap in life, in my opinion.
Yeah.
You always have to be wanting to do what you want to do.
Yeah.
Otherwise, the world runs you. So.
Yeah. My philosophy has always been nothing's worth doing if it isn't a little bit scary.
Exactly.
And you got to jump in with both.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
That's really good. I need to start doing that.
Thank you. Turn it phrase. Dan Burger original.
There you go.
Dan the philosophist over there.
The philosophist. Oh, you're no longer the elder. You're the philosopher.
Ooh, oh, there you
Dan the philosopher.
I've been called a lot worse. I'll take it.
Okay.
I love the.
How do you like
the
How do you like the black
This is
Oh,
this
it's
is
delicious.
tremendous.
Oh
This
my
is
God.
what I was so excited that we
Yeah.
got to connect over, and yeah, like I had mentioned in the previous video, you should just like jump cut to where I was like, oh, I wish it was black IPA.
All right, jump
and
cut.
then I was thinking it was going to be a black IPA. I'm not disappointed.
I'm just disappointed.
I love black IPAs.
Black IPAs are
If
really
if any breweries are watching this that want to send us some black IPAs or dark lagers,
Hit us up.
and yeah, no, this is really it's so yeah. So tell me what I'm tasting, because like I think I'm getting really like malty, like the kind of chocolatey malty on my tongue, but it's not super hoppy. So that you would consider this a maltier beer over something. That's like
So we use the same amount of hops that we do for the other version of our Grumpy Goat IPA.
Okay.
But because there's we use those dark malts, you get like different flavors in there that kind of mask the bitterness from the hops a little bit.
Right.
So yeah, when you get a lot of different flavors, you don't have one that's like sort of taking over type of thing.
Yeah, this feels like way more. I want to say rounded. I don't want to jump
no,
into the
that's
world
a
of
good word,
umami or anything, but yeah, it's rounded. It's
just so it's such an interesting taste in your mouth.
Yeah.
Because you expect something that's going to be so like more of a stouty or a darker color, right? And then you try it and you're like, oh my god, and then it's like, oh my god, what is that?
Yeah.
Because it is. It's like a dual flavor.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
What I find with all your beers, there's just some sort of fresh, like clean taste to all of them. Like even like with the black IPA, I'm just like, wow, it's refreshing. Like,
Yeah. So we have a very small brewing system. It's a 3 hectoliter brew system. So a hectoliter is 100 liters.
Yeah.
So we have a 300 liter brew system, which is pretty small, like even for the craft beer world. So because it's so small, we're brewing like frequently, so we get good stock rotation. So our beer is always super fresh, which is a good thing.
right on.
Definitely.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so you were saying when we were doing a walk around before that you have around would you say a 2 to 3 week turnaround from start to finish?
Yeah, so most of the beers that we make are ales. which you can turn over fairly quickly. So yeah, usually around 3 weeks.
Okay.
And
a
some
lager
beers,
or
if
a
we squeeze the
pilsner would
timeline,
take-
we can get them 2 weeks, but
Okay.
we'd like to sort of more do the 3-week timeline. Yeah.
Is it because you prefer ales yourself, or is it?
Yeah, well, ales. That's sort of where like craft beer got its sort of initial like following, right?
Right.
Because ales are more flavorful. That's where you get like an IPA, a stout, pale ale, like all those things. Those are all ales. There's a very broad spectrum of ale, but they tend to be like more flavorful beers than the other type of yeast, which is a lager. So a lager is like a very clean, less flavorful, you could argue easier drinking beer. But for the craft beer world, I mean, if you're into a lager, there's a lot of mass-produced lagers that if you like a lager, you can get them for much cheaper. So that's why sort of craft beer has leaned towards ales for the longest time. But
Right.
yeah.
It makes a lot of sense too, where you did learn a lot of your brewing too.
Oh, right. Yeah, maybe I should do
where'd
like
you
a...
get your
Yeah,
start?
yeah,
Yeah, that's
you're-
it.
I think
That's it.
I like to experience that story with people just because it's like, for most people they don't have a background like Aiden, and I know he's a humble man, but
Right,
he's honestly he's a very special person to have around this area. So
Right on.
So
Get into
my educational background is actually mechanical engineering, and I grew up in Toronto, in the East End of Toronto.
Danforth boy.
Yeah, Victoria Park and Gerrard.
Nice.
My mom still lives there.
Okay, I know
Yeah. So I moved to Stratford for a job at a aerospace bearing manufacturing plant. It's a very specific sort of industry. Like I would say there's probably like a 50% chance that if you fly on a plane, the bearing was made in Stratford.
Wow.
Yeah, like it's a very weird specific industry, but it's an important part of a plane. Yeah, right. Yeah.
It's not the festival; it's the bear.
Right. Yeah. If
Festivals
you
and
ask
tourism.
a lot of
Yeah.
people, like people who grew up and live in Stratford, they know the company. So it's actually the company's called FAG
out.
Bearings. So they used to have a big sign that said FAG. So it actually stands for Fisher, and then AG.
FAG?
Yes.
and then
You can spell it. Yeah.
yeah, and then
He went to film school. It takes him a while, but,
Hey,
yeah.
hey, watch it.
but he got there, and
Watch
I'm
your
proud
tone.
of you.
Hey,
You know,
okay,
yeah,
thanks.
that's the important.
So it's, I don't know the exact German word, but AG
Oh, yeah.
is it's German,
Yeah.
but it's the same as incorporated for like a English word.
Yeah.
So
Right.
it's Fisher Incorporated, but it's Fisher AG.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's actually it's a pretty prestigious company. Like for Stratford to have that in their location, like that's what how a lot of people work at is FAG. So
Right.
and then Cooper and all the other ones. So
Yeah,
But
there's,
let's
a
not
lot
get
of
off-
So yeah,
manufacturing.
that's where I moved to Stratford for a job there. I worked there for a couple years out of school, and then my wife, she was my girlfriend at the time. She was going to school in Waterloo, and then when she graduated, we both sort of were trying to figure out what we wanted to do, and we weren't quite ready to sort of put roots down yet. So I quit my perfectly good job, and we went traveling. So we went over to Europe and we sort of bounced around different places, and we found this online scheme where people are looking for volunteers to do different types of things. It tends to be a lot of farms because they have unskilled like manual labor that needs doing.
Oh, like woofing? Is it?
Yeah, it's
woofing?
kind of like woofing. Yeah,
Right on.
yeah, it's a different website, but same.
Fair enough.
Same idea. Yeah. So we ended up on a farm in England that had a brewery. So we knew about the brewery prior to going there, and my wife and I were into craft beer. We liked drinking it, so we thought, oh, that'll be fun if we go to that place. We'll have access to some good English beer. And then while we were there, the guy who was brewing their beer, he actually hurt his back playing rugby. So they asked me, they said, hey, instead of shoveling pig all day, would you rather help out making beer? And it was obviously
That's
very
an
easy-
improvement.
Yeah, it was a super easy decision. So I was like, yeah, let's do that.
Growing
so-
up in farm town, pig is not good. Cow is fine. Pig
Right, yeah, it
no
stinks.
good.
How
Yeah.
do you have so much knowledge?
Well, I hang out with you.
Yeah, I've lived in the area my whole life, so education is up there.
Good education.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
Valuable.
chicken and sheep is the worst.
Dan and I could go driving together.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, that one. That's.
That's a,
That one's chicken.
you know the nuances.
That one's got a hint of a hint.
A little bit of both, actually. I smell both.
Come to Toronto, it's just goose.
Well, hey,
Raccoons
Stratford
too,
Avon.
Yeah.
All you're doing is stepping in goose.
That's true.
Yeah.
That is true. Well, goose and human in Toronto, so you know.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, sorry. Okay.
I ended up doing that with him. His name's actually James Emsley. I'll give him a shout out here. He actually now has a brewery in England. He started his own brewery, but I won't get too far off of.
Whereabouts in England?
It's called Derbyshire. It's like I guess a county.
Oh yeah.
Maybe. We
Derbyshire.
were just outside of a town called Belper, which is it's in Derbyshire.
Sounds like a part of a fish, a belper.
Belper, yeah. So it's sort of like smack dab in the middle of England, near the Peak District.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, it's not near the water or anything. It's just
Yeah.
sort of farm country. So I did that for 6 months with Emsley, learning sort of how to brew beer. And he would just sort of hang out, sit in a chair because his back was messed up. So he would be like, yeah, do this. And
Nice.
I was learning sort of the hands-on how to do it. And then when we came back to Stratford, my wife Katie and I, we were sort of figuring out where we wanted to stay, and we really liked Stratford, so we stayed in Stratford. And then I was looking for work again, and I started looking in the manufacturing sector, but then I thought, what the heck, I enjoyed brewing, what if I make a resume? Even though the majority of the resume was engineering, and there was a small little blurb, like brewing assistant for 6 months, and I just sort of gave my resume around different places. And I actually ended up getting a job at Bell City Brewing Company in Brantford. So they were just opening. So the two co-owners of Bell City, they both came from Labatt, so they had a wealth of knowledge. And the one guy who I worked with, who was managing the brewing side, he's a super knowledgeable guy. I think he has a master's of either chemical or biological engineering. I'm not sure, don't quote me on that. But he's a very knowledgeable guy. So I got to brew with him, and I ended up being the brewer at Bell City for almost 3 years.
Nice.
So it was a bit of a commute because I was driving from Stratford to Brantford.
Yeah, that's a hike.
Yeah, so it was like almost an hour
Yeah.
every day, each way. But it was an easy drive.
And you were doing something that you were interested
Yeah,
in.
and,
it's worth it.
and I knew that this was the end goal. I wanted to do my own thing,
Yeah.
and it was such a huge opportunity to be able to. I was running the entire back end of the brewery, so I was ordering ingredients, I was brewing the beer, I was packaging the beer, I was doing everything. So I got to have my hands in a lot of spots, and I learned a lot about how to do it. And then I got to the point where I was like, okay, I'm doing everything at this brewery except for selling the beer, and I figured how hard could that be? But so then and I would drive through Shakespeare every day, and then I actually noticed the building that we're in right now, I noticed it had a sign on it. It said for rent. And then around the same time, Bell City was upgrading their brewing equipment, so they were going to be getting rid of their smaller system. So I had like a light bulb go off. I was like, hey, I wonder if I could get my hands on that brewing equipment, and I wonder how much this guy wants to rent this building. And that was in the fall of 2016.
That's what those are?
Yep. Yeah.
No
all
way.
this equipment, with
way.
the exception of tanks 3 and 4, we've bought those since opening. But yeah, the majority of the equipment back there I bought from my previous employers.
Right on.
Very cool. Wow.
Yeah.
That just worked out perfectly.
Yeah, it was like
That's
totally like one of those journeys that you just sort of go down. And like 10 years ago, if you had told me that I was going to be owning a brewery in Shakespeare, and I'm actually moving to Shakespeare in July with my family, I wouldn't have guessed it. I don't think I even knew that Shakespeare was a place.
That's
it's
rad.
you never know where life's going to take you, so you just sort of
There's so many
hang on.
similarities to Breaking Bad. Other than what you're doing is legal.
Yeah.
But, you got, you're Jesse Pinkman, and
Yeah,
you were
there's no
taught
meth.
by
There's
Walter
no meth
White.
here, Yeah.
I was just thinking about
Oh,
that.
I'm Jesse
that-
Pinkman?
that's
Okay,
insane.
yeah,
I feel like I'm
You're
Yeah, yeah.
Jesse Pinkman.
I feel like I'm
You're-
Jesse Pinkman.
You're Jesse
though.
Pinkman?
I feel like
Okay.
that.
learning how this whole brewery stuff works.
Yeah. So yeah, that's how Shakespeare Brewing Company was born.
That's
Very
really
cool.
cool. And Bell City was cool with you.
Yeah, I mean, when I went for my first interview there, I told them that my goal was to open a brewery, because nowadays everybody and their grandma is gonna open a brewery. So I think that's a lot of people's dream.
Right.
So they knew that was my ultimate goal. I think maybe a lot of people talk about it and don't ever do it, but we took the leap.
You did it.
And we've done it. Yeah, so
that's really cool.
Are you guys the only Shakespeare? I mean, are you the only brewery in Shakespeare?
in Shakespeare, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, so Shakespeare's, it's a pretty small community. I think there's like less than 1,000 people
Right.
in Shakespeare. But we're close to, obviously Stratford's 10 minutes away. There's a few breweries in Stratford. New Hamburg has a brewery, and then Kitchener-Waterloo, Cambridge is like 35 minutes away. It opens up there. You probably got at least 10
Couple
in that
in
area
Guelph,
now.
too.
Yeah, Guelph, and then down in Woodstock.
While
Yeah.
we're on the topic of actually being the only brewery in Shakespeare, is we do have a retail site here, so you can obviously come in, so bottle shop, so you can come in and you can grab our beer.
That's
but
true.
Aiden, do you want to speak a little bit on the new website?
Oh, yeah. So we're actually working on developing a new website that's going to have an online ordering option.
Nice.
So if you're interested in trying some of our beer,
Yeah.
you can go on the website and order some beer online, and we can ship it anywhere in Ontario.
I'm definitely looking forward to that.
Yeah.
I love that we can do that too, because I can't drive, and I'm not gonna make him bring me out here all the time. So yeah,
Right.
just
Unless there's gaming night.
Yeah, unless there's
Yeah.
There will be.
I'll be there for that.
There will be.
Yeah.
There will definitely
Yeah.
be.
Yeah, you heard it here
feature
first.
We will feature it as the Game and Scotch night.
There
Yes. I love it.
we go.
I love it.
So
So you guys are gonna have to start making scotch. Okay, you're
Funny,
distilling now.
we had the name for Game and Scotch, and then we realized, wow, we're drinking a lot of beer on this
Yeah.
Game and Scotch channel.
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
So
This
we
is
just
very
thought-
young. It's very young Scotch.
Yeah, exactly.
There we go.
It's like because we wanted to go off the name like Game and Watch, so we did Game and Scotch.
Yeah.
Even though
Okay.
a lot of us I'm not too familiar with Scotch, but like we thought, oh, we can learn it.
It's
but-
funny that you say that though, because Scotch was my original. Like that's how I really started to get into more or less like drinking for not class, but drinking for taste.
Right.
Yeah.
Because that's one thing that I'm so passionate about in my senses. There's so many tastes of beer and there's so many tastes of liquors and all the other things out there, and
Yeah.
it's just like, let's explore our palate.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
that's what it's all about for me.
I love when you guys said earlier, like you're not really competing against other microbreweries. It's just everyone has their own distinct tastes,
And it's a community.
and it's
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
community
Oh,
where
yeah.
we support
Yeah.
each other, and that's great.
Absolutely, yeah.
Because there's a lot nowadays. Like you
Yeah,
said
I
earlier.
think
Yeah.
we're around 300 now in
Yeah.
Ontario.
Yeah.
Wow.
Which I mean, you could try naming. You maybe get to 50.
Yeah.
I don't think you could name all 300.
Yeah.
But everybody has their own sort of area that they, like us, right? I mean, a lot of people never heard of Shakespeare Brewing Company, but they'll be driving by on the road. They see the sign,
Yeah.
and if they like craft beer, they
Pull on in.
Everyone
pull
will stop
in and check
Yeah.
things out. Yeah.
Now, that was something cool that it's Ontario hops. So I didn't even know that I didn't know what the growing parameters for hops were. I didn't know if it was something tropical or something.
Right, yeah.
Whatever.
So Ontario, it's like globally, it's not like a big hop growing region. Those tend to be sort of traditional areas, like Eastern Europe, like some areas of Germany, the Czech Republic.
does it depend on certain microclimates type?
Yeah,
of
I mean, well, I
things,
guess
or-
that's sort of where beer started out, was
That's-
in Europe. So they
that's
were
fair,
they were
yeah.
using stuff that was growing well in their climate. But then there are other regions like the Pacific Northwest in the United States is a big hop growing region for those big like aromatic hops. I know New Zealand is big, as well as I think South Africa is coming online. Yeah, so you have certain climates that lend themselves well to growing certain varieties of hops. But also in Ontario, we are growing hops. So all the beers that we make, we only use Ontario-grown hops.
That's so
For us, it was kind of like, we want people to come and support our small business. So if there are other small businesses in the area that I can buy hops from, I feel like it's my duty to support them.
Yeah.
So yeah. And
Well, and it gives you more appreciation for I would think for what is the output. Like my sister's a dairy farmer, and she has a lot of connections with like local cheesemakers and oh, you've got to try this kefir that somebody made, or the labna or whatever.
Right.
And so it's so cool seeing like her at the production end of things, like the hop fella around the corner or whatever. And then they get to see the end result in a block of Gouda or whatever, you know?
Right,
And
yeah,
that's so cool.
That's exactly
it. For me, the reason why I think I love like what is behind, or what you guys are behind when it comes to the local aspect of everything is like I serve people here all the time, and when people from the hops company that we're buying off of are coming in and buying our beer, like that's special. That's really special in my opinion. It's like
They get to
when
taste
you can
the-
sit there and talk to the people that grow the hops in your beer, and they're like, oh yeah, like going over it. It's like that's really special.
Literally the fruits of all your labor.
Yeah, exactly.
That's so cool.
They get to taste what you're making and what you've made from their product.
Yeah.
That must
for
be
sure.
really cool.
Yeah.
Is it so? Is it a specific type of hop that we end up with in Ontario, or does it change? Or
Yeah, I mean, so I'm not a hop grower, but
why don't you have all the answers?
yeah.
God damn it!
Right.
Why are we even here?
Yeah.
I'm going home. No.
but I know there are certain varieties that the hop growers in this area have chosen to grow.
Right.
I'm assuming that they've chosen those varieties over others because
Best for
they
the
do
environment.
best in this climate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fair. Right on.
Yeah. We do have a couple of hop plants growing beside our patio. It's not enough to sort of grow enough hops for us to use. It's more
But it
for
looks
show.
really cool.
Yeah,
does.
people
It looks
people
so
like that. Yeah, in the summertime when you sit on the patio and you got hops beside you, you can kind of look at it because a lot of people talk about hops all the time, and maybe you've never seen them, but come out here in the summertime, you can see them growing, you can touch them, smell them,
Right on.
taste them if you wanted.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You ever done that? What's a hop taste?
Oh,
it's
I
very
did.
bitter.
Yeah?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I got
Oh, wow.
to. Actually, it's funny you say that. I got to experience this last weekend, so I've never tried a hot pellet in my life. Maybe we should do a video.
That'd
You
be a
guys
really
Yeah,
fun
we could
video.
do-
Yeah.
Maybe we
just
should do
always
that.
try a little bit of
Yeah.
hops.
Game of
Yeah.
Scotch
it was
tries hop
it was
pellets.
a good
Yeah.
experience for me, and like it's funny. Like when you taste it, you're like, oh, I can recognize that in a beer.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's kind of
Yeah,
Very cool.
It's very bitter.
Yeah.
Very
Right.
bitter. It's like an IPA
Just like you.
times 100.
Yeah. That is like
Very bitter.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I've got emotional issues, but it's fine. It's mostly
No,
trust.
not now.
It's,
We're not
it's
talking
trust
about that now,
issues.
man.
Okay.
We're trying to record a podcast. We're not. No.
No. Well, no, that's why I'm super excited to do this series and and I'm really proud that you guys wanted to have us on, and
Yeah.
well, we're having you on, but you know what I mean, but that I want to learn why I like certain beer and certain hops, and to if we could taste a hop pellet at some point.
Yep.
Fuck, I don't want a whole pallet of them.
I want a whole
Yeah, go
goddamn
grab some.
half.
Yeah.
But
While we're at it.
oh,
Looks like we need
there we go.
some.
Yes.
Oh man.
Yeah, please.
Man with
you.
a plan, but to taste something like that, and then to when we smelled the barley and all that, to know what it is that I'm tasting in the beer, and to have it, well, because focus on me.
What's your
because
point?
I'm blind.
What's your point?
Yeah, well, no, because I get to feel and smell and taste everything that is going into something that I love, and so I'd get to see the breakdown of it, and so that's why I'm excited to do this series.
Yep.
What's really cool about my first experiences with craft beers that I never, like, you turn 19, you're just drinking the cheap stuff, and then you try
Sure.
craft beer, and you're like, wow, beer can taste really good, and like
Right.
can taste differently depending on which brewery you buy it from. And that's why, like, after starting this channel and being like, oh, I'd love to travel to breweries and see how it's all made, and
Yep.
now I finally have an interest in that. It's very cool to
I'm often curious what the college university scene is like now as far as beer drinking.
I think
Because when
it's,
I was there,
now
I
it's like,
was never in, like, craft beer wasn't a thing.
Yeah.
right.
But craft beer is cool now.
Yeah.
But then also you're poor when you're in.
This-
So I
this
don't
is
know. I don't
it.
know what they're drinking. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think they, like a lot of my buddies
very
now
much.
are into craft beer. Like, but
Right.
I guess we're older. We're like 25, so it's like 26,
Older.
27.
Yeah. 35.
You have a job now.
Yeah, job,
yeah.
exactly. Yeah, exactly. We
brag
make
about
money,
it.
sort of, and we're able to,
Thanks.
enjoy what we're drinking, not just to get to the end goal.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. For me in uni, it was a lot of the sugar water from Golden, Colorado there, and hey, the mountains turn blue when the can is cold enough, so you don't taste it. It's,
Oh my
I
God.
didn't say the name, so it's okay to burn them. But
It's okay.
Yeah, I had one of those a few weeks ago. It was just atrocious. It was not good.
You guys
It
playing
tastes like Crystal Light.
games in university too? Drinking those beers or what?
Oh yeah, lots of drinking games. I was in an arts residence, so it was party central,
They had
and we
painting
had
battles.
We had painting battles, and a lot of like retro games because all of us were, when you're a gamer all your life, like you're pretty nostalgic, so you're still playing the old stuff.
Right.
But what's your experience with gaming?
Yeah, I my first system that I had was a Super Nintendo.
Nice.
I remember I had it in the basement of our house, and it was sort of in the same area of my dad's office. So he had his office over here, and then there was a little TV on a table, and he had like a office chair with wheels. So I would wheel the little office chair over, and I would sit, like 2 feet in front of a little tiny, probably like 12-inch TV, and just playing
Nice.
Super
Nice.
Nintendo.
Nice.
Yeah, and then it sort of went up from there. I'd say for me, sort of where gaming took off was, I think, probably for me in high school when I had like the original Xbox.
Yeah.
Because I would always have friends over, and you'd sort of hang out, and you'd do like the split screen thing with the. Yeah, and it was fun because
little bit of Halo 1.
you're playing a video game, but you're still like interacting with a friend, right?
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
they're sitting beside you on the couch.
Yeah.
So you can still like
Yeah.
give them a elbow or whatever, and like it's still an interactive experience where you're bonding with your friends.
It's so strange nowadays because like a lot of games don't have multiplayer like on the same console, like split screen.
Yeah.
Right.
So now like Microsoft wants you to buy your own Xbox and have the online thing,
Yeah.
this and that. So it's just like, even thinking about gaming with us like years ago, it's just like, oh, I could have my buddies over, like we can all hang out, play some Halo, Call of Duty,
Yeah.
all that stuff. But now it's like,
Mario
okay,
Party.
you got to go home.
Yeah.
You got to
Yeah.
go home
Right.
to play together in these games. So
I
it's like,
remember. Sorry to
No,
interrupt
that's no
you.
problem.
I remember how it was so cool with Halo when you could do like the split screen LAN party.
Yes.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
And
Oh,
you get
yeah.
two
Oh, yeah.
TVs going on with 8 people, and it'd be like you'd be in absolute awe. But yeah, now they've got like Fortnite where there's like 100 people in one
All at
thing.
once.
Yeah,
but
that's
stupid.
no one is sitting beside each other. So it's funny that you guys are mentioning that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Couch co-op, I really miss. And,
Yeah, so do I.
yeah.
they still have those games. It's just not as a focus. Like I said, like they want you to buy 2 Xboxes. And stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Why
they're-
would you share?
They're
You want
a
Xbox.
console production company over.
Yeah.
But do you guys have any plans to do any Wink gaming nights or
Wink.
anything? Or
Wink.
Wink.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
can cut that out,
It's in the mix.
Yeah.
It's in the mix. So yeah, we want to kind of make it where we're not only just coming here to have like the local watering hole or something
Yeah,
like
right.
that. Like we want it to be, people can come here and have a good time while enjoying a good beer.
Yeah.
So it's important that we have kind of like events and stuff like
Yeah.
that going
Well,
on,
you've got your
so.
patio, or do you have like food trucks coming in or anything? Or
Yes.
or-
Yeah. Starting in June, we're gonna have every Saturday we'll have a different food truck out.
Nice.
So June, July, August, September.
That's right on.
Yeah. So it's fun for us and for the people in the area because every Saturday there's a different food truck, so
Absolutely.
you can try something different every Saturday.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Well, that's
Yeah,
cool.
looking
And you
forward to that.
Like pairings and everything. That's
We haven't gone that.
no, you
advanced
just
yet.
do it automatically.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. This pairs nicely with tacos.
Yeah, it's just gonna be whatever's here pairs well with the beer.
Yeah.
There you
That's-
go.
That's your
sort
whole
of it.
gimmick.
That's
Like
fair.
everything pairs with
Yeah, I was
Shakespeare.
just going to say, it pairs well with everything.
Everything
That's
pairs.
true. That is
Yeah.
true.
But yeah, and you guys had the Halo helmet in the
Yes.
Yeah.
in here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
there's,
respect that.
Master Chief up there.
Yeah.
I think
Thought he'd look
everyone's
nice on the mantle.
Yeah.
Master Chief and then Shakespeare.
There you go. Are you guys Shakespeare fans at all? Like
So actually, I'm
We're fans
kind of
of beer.
embarrassed to admit this, but no. What? Yeah. So that's one of the reasons why I didn't go too heavy on the play side
Right.
of it.
just so people
'Cause-
don't trivia.
Yeah, if somebody comes in and starts chatting to me about different plays, I
Ouch,
can't.
damn.
I can't
Just
hang.
start speaking
I can't hang there,
iambic
right?
pentameter
Beer and video games I can do.
Yeah.
That's fair.
But yeah.
What's hilarious is that when I was in high school, I was huge into Shakespeare. So when I saw this, I was like, oh, I get to talk about Shakespeare.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, you,
Oh, right.
I loved
So-
all your guys' intros on the first 3 videos. It
Yeah.
was like 5 minutes
To
of
be
shit.
or
Yeah,
not to
yeah,
be.
Yeah, I was like, yes, this is
yeah.
true.
It was like to beer or not to beer.
yeah.
An obvious question.
or not to be.
Yeah. And that's what I went to school for, and I'm just like, what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, like, you know, in your theater, all they do is just Shakespeare plays or like a weird satirical look at Shakespeare.
Yeah, no, that's fair. Well, and I appreciate like the naming system that you have with the animals over like the Alas Yorick, he was my friend beer. You know, you can just
Right.
say whatever,
Yeah.
or the lambic pentameter or
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Thank you.
Yeah, I, like
I was
that
working on
yeah.
that one.
No, that's really
yeah,
good.
yeah.
He's
you
here
can-
to
you can
pitch
have
some
that.
ideas
Where
to
were you
guys
guys when we were founding Shakespeare Brewing Company?
That's right.
Yeah, I was pretty proud of that. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, that's right. That's
You
good.
can have it.
that.
That's for you. That's our gift to you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, if we ever make a lambic, we will use that one.
Lambic. Awesome. Well, yeah, we're at 45 minutes. Do you guys have anything else to say? You want to plug anything else with Shakespeare Brewing
Yeah, do you
Company?
have anything
or-
No, I mean, I
We've
think
got
we've gone
your-
over everything. Like we've got the retail store here. We do the bottle/can shop. We got the patio outside.
Yeah.
You can come have a flight of beer.
Nice.
We're doing the food trucks this summer. Lots of other things too with the potential gaming nights and all sorts of other little events going on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're trying to get our name out
Yeah.
there when it comes to the sales side too, in local pub brews or bars or anything like that. So
Awesome.
That's
Right
kind
on.
of where. Oops, sorry. That's kind of like where I roll into is just kind of trying to get our name out there, and definitely like the Toronto GTA area.
Yeah, I would love to
GTA
see it in
area
some bars in Toronto,
Is,
yeah.
is somewhere that I want to kind of invest into, is because that's where a lot of the local craft beer comes from. So.
Yeah.
Oh god, this is gonna start another conversation. Is it hard to get into the LCBO, or do you not want to be at the LCBO, or is that
It's a whole different
it's
kettle
So
of
a
fish.
thing?
For the size that we are,
There's no-
we can't really compete
Right.
like on price at the LCBO.
And it's
Um,
shelf space too, right? So,
Right.
Yeah,
and-
yeah. Like basically, yeah. That's what
We're
it comes down
happy
to.
with
Yeah.
where we're at right
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're very happy.
I wasn't sure with breweries, is that their goal, or is it just like they don't want to be associated with?
Depends
Yeah,
on where
yeah,
you want to be.
yeah,
Like
it
your
depends on
your
where you
your margins are slimmer through the LCBO,
Right.
So you have to do a much higher volume.
Right.
Okay.
Our production capacity, we don't have that volume right now, so we just sort of focus on doing our own thing here through the store and in the sort of local area.
I think
Yeah.
the biggest plus side about being in an LCBO is it's just kind of like a free marketing. Well, not really free, but it's just more of a. You're in an area where people are consistently going through to see beer. So
That's
Because
fair.
I'm finding because I don't want to say it, but I visit the LCBO a lot. But like I'm running out of like craft beers to try out, right?
Yeah,
like I'm
no,
just
it's
like,
true.
oh, it's just there's Muskoka, there's this and that. I'm like, that's kind of running out. Like,
Well, you gotta
where
check
can I
out-
get this?
A
Like,
lot
where
of
can I get
breweries
that?
now have online stores.
Yeah,
Yeah.
which
Check
you
out
guys will
check
soon
out some of the
have.
breweries. Yeah, we will
Yeah.
have that.
So let me
soon.
know when you guys have that website up, then I'll
we will.
share with
Yeah.
our community. But yeah,
Well, and it's great that it's a growing community because like they'll spread the word, we'll spread the word, you guys spread the word and stuff.
Absolutely.
Spread the
And,
word.
and there's more. There was a brewing magazine that just started recently. It's like a quarterly or something, and I found a bunch of new breweries in this one. I can't remember what it's called. It's like I don't know.
Sounds
I'm just-
interesting.
yeah. I'll let you know once I figure it out. I'll let you know.
Yeah,
I'll
I'd
get
like
you in there.
that.
But yeah.
Thank you guys so very much for watching. So we're at the Shakespeare Brewing Company, and we're joined by Aiden and Adrian, and I'm Aiden.
And I'm
this is
Dan.
Why does your name start with an A?
I know.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
Yeah,
I usually get called something that starts with A and it rhymes with masshole. So
so thank you guys so very much for watching. I'm going to link our reviews of the 3 drinks that we had, the Reckless Rooster, the Grumpy Goat, and the Classy Cow. I'll link also to your website. So you guys have your website up? Is
Yep.
website's up? Okay, great.
Yep.
And yeah, check
right.
out our other videos. Thanks
thanks,
for joining
guys.
us.
Thank you.
Thank you so very much.
Thank you.
So
Yeah.
much.
That's a nice one. Yeah.
Have a good one, guys. Thank you.
Yes.
Like and subscribe. I feel so dirty saying that.
Cool.
Like,
so
like,
much.
I know. I wanted.
Like and subscribe.
I know. I wanted to add it at the end of our videos so bad.
Yeah.
Like and subscribe.